welcome to Monorants, a podcast where we rant exclusively about Amazon's The Boys, at least for another 10 or 11 episodes anyway. I'm one of your hosts and jack of all trades, Mono, and with me is my co-host and master of none, Kira.
I got ants in my pants!
Fair enough. This week we're discussing Season 1's last episode, You Found Me, and as is our wont, we'll be talking comics and referencing ahead in the show, probably pretty heavily this time, so spoilers ahead. So, Kira, I don't like the summaries that are on IMDb. They're garbage, I think.
Okay.
So henceforth, I'm going to see if my jack of all trades status applies to writing summaries, and I'm just going to try and write summaries for each of the episodes.
Oh, okay.
So here we go.
Good luck.
Yeah. So, yep, there we are. So, in the last installment of Season 1, Vaughn are in the military and back on top. The boys are on the run from everyone, and Billy goes to see an old friend. Meanwhile, Homelander and Stillwell's relationship comes to a climax as Billy's true motives and loyalties are laid bare. In the end, it'll take a true hero to save the boys. So, Kira, last episode. One full season down. What do we think?
Well, let's talk about the episode first, because a lot happens. This does wrap up a lot of the threads.
Oh, yeah.
So it opens, obviously, with Syria.
Before we dive in, and, well, congrats for
remembering. I remember 2 episodes in a row. Go me.
Yeah. So, the creative team for this episode was no newbies this time. Director was Kripke himself. And the writers were Anne Caffell Saunders, who wrote episode 5. And then Rebecca Sunshine, who wrote episode 6. So, yeah, back to Syria.
Yeah, opens with a strike team moving towards a facility in Syria. From the previous episode, we know that they're investigating a cell of terrorists who seem to be in possession of a superpowered terrorist. Fun.
Yeah.
Because that's what the world needs.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got a strike team moving in, doing what they've been trained to do, and it's all very stealth and hand signals and, wearing the paint and climbing the trees. And Homelander just rocks on up, lands on top of a car, starts speaking in his normal talking voice, like, how ya boys? It's okay, you can go sit down, put the feet up, have a cup of tea. I'm going to go take care of this. And then in the most patronising tone ever is like, and you guys are the real heroes.
Yeah, that's the most patronising he's been when saying that. I thought the exact same. He doesn't even care now.
No.
The goal has been accomplished. He's in the military. I don't need to give you sincere
he
platitudes.
He knows there's head cams going on as well, so he's just like, hey. And then he proceeds to rock on into this warehouse and annihilate everybody.
And again, the music.
Rock the Casbah.
Rock the Casbah.
Yeah.
By, I can't remember the name of the band that covers it, but it's very much done in a kind of Middle Eastern style.
Yeah, no, it's a great version of it for this.
The whole, once he goes inside the building, it's such a pretty scene.
Rashid Taha.
Rashid Taha. There you go, folks. But yeah, once he gets inside the building, it's such a pretty scene. Obviously, I know it's really gory, but just the way everything is framed and the lighting, and you can tell so much thought and effort went into every single shot.
And when it cuts back to the soldiers outside in their point of view, and they can all they can hear is like screams, and there's just explosions going on, and you can see like the
light from the lasers.
There's like lasers and explosions and screams, and there's blood splatter going up windows, and then inside it's just people running and screaming.
Oh, Homelander kills everybody.
Yeah, he's a lot more accurate this time around with the owl laser vision, in fairness.
A little bit more accurate.
Yeah. But I like the fact that a lot of it, when it cuts to the inside and is him destroying everything, he's mostly in shadow except for the eyes.
The eyes, yeah.
It really looks like some of the shots of like Darkseid with the Omega beams.
Yeah.
Like from the comic book versions of him where he's shadowed and you can just see the eyes glowing of it. But it really reinforces the Homelander's gone darker, isn't trying to disguise it anymore.
Well, the poor young...
He's becoming more of a villain.
Yeah, that poor young terrorist or whatever he's supposed to be, the kid, he only looks like he's about 18 or 19, he gets his legs chopped off, and then Homelander just slowly stands on his skull and squishes him.
Because he would have been okay with just the legs being gone, because the lasers seem to cauterize everything. So.
Yeah, but Homelander's not leaving anybody alive.
Oh no, he popped his head like a melon.
Because when he comes out and we see that he's holding the vial of V, he's like, I found this inside. It's incumbent upon him to make sure that anybody inside, especially if these are people who he's been, as we find out later in the episode when he reveals to Stillwell, he's the one who's been in charge of this whole creating the soup terrorist thing. So it makes sense for him to want to go in and kill everybody inside so that they can't...
Oh, he's covering his tracks.
Exactly, yeah.
I question whether or not the V was actually there, or if he just happened to have his
he brought that with him.
Yeah, his whole thing is to just plant it and give them a scapegoat so that they're not looking at Vought anymore.
Well, yeah, they were going in there to try and see. Well, presumably the army were going in there to try and investigate something, follow up with the Naquib terrorist, whether they might find V or whatever. And if they had gone in, they wouldn't have killed everybody. They would have questioned some of the people. And yeah, some of the truth about what Homelander's been up to might have gotten out. So yeah, he had to kill everybody inside.
And it doesn't make a difference if they go in or not now, because he's blown up the place.
And the last guy, the last guy he gets who's running away, who he just slices in half. And all the soldiers look terrified.
Yeah. There are rules of engagement.
Well, presumably you only ever see... What they've only ever seen of him is what's been on TV.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't... Like, in the first episode when he took out the bank robbers, he wasn't on camera until afterwards. It wasn't until he started taking selfies with the kids. So the people around saw him, you know, laser that guy's gun and melt it into his hand and then throw the other guy into the air.
Yeah.
But not everybody would have seen that, you know what I mean?
That's almost like acceptable comic book violence, if you get me. It's like, oh, he just like super punched him, but
yeah,
you can...
But they're actually seeing it up close. Yeah. Firsthand, and that guy just got cut in half. Like, yeah. And it's very... His aim is shit in that. Like, he just kind of cuts across the whole, you know, alleyway that your man's running down and happens to cut him in half. And yeah, it's not precise at all, and it's gory, and the soldiers are just sitting there going, ooh,
it serves to emphasize just how dangerous they are as well.
Yeah.
You know, he might be on America's side at the moment, but there's nobody who can really stop him if he decides to go on with his own agenda, which is what he is doing.
Plus, there was about, 15 or 20 guys there?
Yeah.
So they were going in expecting heavy resistance.
Yeah, it was a full-on strike force. Like,
it wasn't a 3 or 4 man squad going in to get like one target or one thing.
It was with in the initial incident. I think there's 5 of them.
Yeah, there certainly wasn't that many when they were going after the guys from Flight 37.
Yeah, so they were aware of the fact that they're going to be facing... Well, it's a big facility that they're clearing as well. It's 4 or 5 floors. It's a factory. You know, they've obviously been monitoring it for a while. There's multiple points of ingress. There was probably going to be people going in through the roof. Like, they were going to contain everybody.
And instead, they got to sit there and watch one man go in
and destroy the place.
Come out without a scratch on him, and only one person escapes, and then he gets slaughtered as well.
Yeah.
You know, that they more than anybody else, we realise just how powerful he is with what he's done, because they knew exactly what was... Well, not exactly, but they would have known what was waiting for them inside.
Yeah. So that's fun.
Yeah, but following that, we get introduced to Bobby, because he's always Bobby, no matter what he's in.
Is he Bobby in this? What is he?
He's Robert Singer. He's Secretary of Defense Robert Singer.
I don't think it's so much a case that he's always Bobby as it is that producer Robert Singer is like, please name a character after me.
Well, yeah, he was named for the producer of Supernatural.
Yeah. When
he's Bobby Singer in Supernatural, and I think Kripke just thought it would be funny to have him be Robert Singer again.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be Dakota Bob from the comics.
Oh, right. That makes more sense.
Dakota Bob in the comics is actually the president, and he's very much an anti-Vought person, and his vice president is Vic the Veep, who is gender swapped and completely different except for everything except for in name as Victoria Newman in season 2. But yeah,
he's supposed to be Dakota Bob.
Yeah, he's supposed to be Dakota Bob, and I love Jim Beaver. He's just so much fun
in
everything he's in. But yeah, we get to see him as Secretary of Defense, giving it to Stillwell. at the start,
it's
and then
such
she
a
turns it on him.
Beautiful insult as well. You're tennis
toned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's just sitting there with this little smile on her face, just waiting on him finishing it before she throws out all these arguments to prove how much of a hypocrite he's being. Because she is, in a way, she is right with her argument of, you sat on the board of directors of Lockheed, you know, all these private companies who manufacture all these massive weapons, but you're not hauling them up to talk about it.
That's not even the point that she's trying to make. She just throws that in there, I think, as a little stinger, because the point she's making is all that shit is now useless.
Yeah.
But
the companies, all of the...
that is a very valid observation on your point, that it is. It's so hypocritical if he's like, you know, he's just upset that they're pushing their agenda in their dodgy way, when how many companies like Lockheed or whatever have senators in their back pockets and make them vote certain ways on certain things. It's just that
because it serves their agenda, and it serves, at the end of the day, it serves their bottom line and their own personal finances. Yeah.
So even this guy who's supposed to be, you know, have the moral high ground and be, you know, I'm from the government, I'm here to tell you that you've done wrong. She's like, yeah, well, you're from the government, but weren't you on the board of directors of that massive weapons manufacturer too?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Just happens to be my company that has the answers this time, not your company.
Yeah, and you're just upset that there's a new player at the table.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to for Stillwell. That's what she thinks.
And she knows there's nothing that they can pin on them definitively.
Certainly at that point, because she hasn't found out that it was Homeland. She doesn't know when she's in that meeting.
No, but
where
also
it actually came from.
Homelander is also intelligent enough to have covered his own tracks.
You would hope. And he does seem to be.
Yeah. Well, if she didn't know what was going on under her own nose...
Yeah, you would assume
if you don't know what's going on in your own house.
Yeah, and he seems to... He only seems to really have involved A-Train in that.
Yeah.
It was him, A-Train, and the terrorists.
A-Train's a junkie as well, so it's easy to keep your junkies quiet.
Well, I think it was also a necessity. He couldn't necessarily... He probably didn't have the time in his schedule to fly around the world, and he'd certainly be seen.
Yeah.
A-Train can run wherever he needs. In the comics, he can certainly run across water.
Yeah.
So we'll assume that A-Train can here. He can literally run around the world, drop it off without anybody seeing him, and run back. So I think that he brought A-Train in because he had to, not because he trusted him or anything like that.
No, he had him in his pocket, and he's got...
And yeah, he's totally able to...
V, so he can blackmail him that way as
well.
Yeah,
he can manipulate him, and it's clear A-Train is totally terrified of him, so he knows that he's not going to...
In fairness, if you've seen his non-camera persona in action, you would be terrified of him too.
Oh god, yeah.
The man is a psychopath.
I am terrified of him.
Yeah, I know, he's a fictional character.
He's a fictional character.
Yeah, I still check under my bed for him at night.
Yeah, forget the boogeyman.
Yeah.
Where's Homelander?
Yeah, the boogeyman's scared of Homelander. He's hiding under the bed with me.
Yeah, no, it's a nice little scene just to show us, because in the last time we saw a representative of the government interacting with Vought, it was Rayner and Stillwell. And Rayner did seem to have the upper hand until she finds out about Nakeeb. And in this we can see, no, Vought are, as I said, they're back on top.
Yeah. They're
able to play all the angles whatever way they want to play them, and they've got to call the shots, like, you know?
Which is reinforced by the next scene, which is Butcher on the phone. They're all in their motel, in their hideout.
Yeah, in frantic mode.
And Butcher's on the phone to Rayner while Rayner is telling him that the Department of Justice have agreed, you know, that the military deal is back on. Vought are off the hook. And
V is classified. Or staying classified.
Vought are insisting that the boys' fugitive status be reinstated, and the Department of Justice have agreed to that.
Yeah.
And then she's like, you're fucked, and hangs up the phone. And he continues the fucking phone call on his side to make it come out like he's on top.
Oh yeah, everything's great.
And I just love the look that Frenchie and Mother's Milk give to each other, and they're like, we're getting out of here, and they start packing.
Yeah, because they've heard the rest of the conversation. They've heard him be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are they doing that? Are you serious? And then at the end he's like faking it. Oh yeah, everything's brilliant. They're like, no. So we're splitting up? Yeah, we're splitting up.
I'm going to Montreal.
We get the first little bit of the female in the bathroom.
Oh, rediscovering who she is.
Trying to... I like how that's dotted throughout the episode.
Yeah, it started kind of when she's watching the Sharks, she's cleaned up and she's in the bright yellow hoodie and she's drawing, and because she's trying to explain to them when you start getting it with the Mesmer episode.
Yeah.
And she's starting to kind of reclaim who she is and that she's not this savage who's been used most of her life.
Yeah, and in the first scene we just see her kind of starting to like comb out her hair.
Yeah.
And she's looking at herself in the mirror kind of quizzically. But I really thought, is it only in just the 2 scenes? Is the next scene later on when it cuts back to her before they get taken?
Nails.
And she's made her hair all pretty and she's painting her nails. And I really thought it was powerful when she tries to speak.
Yeah.
I thought that was so powerful because you got, just in her facial expressions, you got the impression that it was the first time she had tried it.
Yeah.
So in all the time since she's never spoken since she got taken away. And she never tried to speak when she was with her brother in the camp or anything. And now she feels confident enough to try it. And she tries. And she just gets a kind of raspy breath out. And she looks so upset. And there's so much going on there. You know what I mean?
And
it was just really touching.
In very feminine clothing as well.
Yeah. And it's what you said. It's that she's trying to reclaim who she is. Yeah. And if she can, that I think for her is the final step.
And when she
is
hears
being able to talk again.
Yeah, when she hears something outside, she goes out to warn them. And Frenchie's face and his face when he sees her is just beautiful. Like it's so sweet. Their chemistry together is amazing.
Oh yeah,
it's like
one of the highlights of the show.
Yeah, from the very get go, he cares very deeply for her, and when he sees her, and he's like, "Oh, mon cœur, look at you," and it's just. You want somebody to look at you the way Frenchie looks at her. It's
and
so sweet.
I really
even MM has a bit of a like, look going on.
And what I really liked about that episode or the episode today was that you see MM does start to warm to the female.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily because of anything she's done. It's that chat that he has with Frenchie when they're in the cell later on in the episode. And Frenchie asks him, why didn't you tell us about your daughter? Like, you know, we probably wouldn't have let you rejoin if we had known. Yeah. Well, certainly Frenchie would have been more concerned. Butcher probably wouldn't have given a shit either way.
No.
But, you know, he explains to him why he didn't tell the guys about his daughter, that, you know, she's the one thing that's really good in his life. And he just wanted her to be completely separate from the bad shit in his life and the boys. And that's why he didn't bring it up. And Frenchie says, you know, I understand. She made you a better person. And MM kind of looks at him and he then realizes this is why Frenchie's so obsessed with the female. Like, not obsessed, but like why he's so insistent on allowing her the time. Like, you know, he's the one who was pissed off earlier about her being in the bathroom the whole time, and Frenchie was just like, whatever, just leave her be. Like, you know, he gets it now. This is why Frenchie is taking so much time with her and affording her everything he can and doing everything he can to help her, is because he thinks, like you said a couple of times throughout the season, she makes him a better person. He can try and redeem himself somehow through helping her. And MM gets it and goes so far as to be the one who saves her in this episode.
Yeah.
When Frenchie gets shot and he's like, fuck, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
And I really like that. Where
the aside is very, very sweet.
Yeah.
It's nice as well that there is more of those exchanges, because in the comic books you don't really get to see the additional members of the team interacting with each other outside of Huey or Butcher's perspective.
Yeah, and I was nearly going to say the exact same thing, in as much as they're already a full team and Huey just joins in. The rest of them have all known each other, whereas in this it's just Butcher, MM and Frenchie who have worked together in the past. Female and Huey are new. So there's a lot of new interactions and a lot of friendships to be made.
Yes. But a lot of bridges to be repaired as well.
Oh yeah, especially, definitely.
Like, they all seem to have come to the conclusion that Butcher's, like, they know who Butcher is, the other two do. Huey's starting to see that now. And they realise that they're the only two, they can only really rely on each other, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Butcher, I really like what they do with Butcher in this episode. Because it's not something that's broached in the comics until a good bit later. Like, he lies to them a lot throughout the comics, but you don't see just how single-minded and self-serving he is until a lot later in the comics.
No, his confrontation with Mallory.
Yeah, that opens Huey's eyes, and it opens our eyes as viewers as well. Like,
he's a hypocrite as well. He is. So he's not present for the exchange in the motel room. He's gone with Hugh to go see somebody. Yeah, he leaves
with Hugh. Yeah.
So you've only got in the motel room. You've only got Frenchie, MM, and the female. They get taken out. They've all agreed to sit tight for a few hours while Butcher's trying to fix this. Whereas if they'd been sensible, they would have left as soon as he left, because they end up getting taken out by special forces. That's a really nice scene, because she comes out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
He looks at her and he's like, oh, And then smoke grenades! And he pushes her back into the bathroom and covers the bottom of the door with a towel and tells her to escape.
But it's nearly her done-upness, you know, her prettiness that causes them to be taken unawares. Because she comes out of the bathroom to warn them. You can see the look on her face as something is wrong. When Frenchie looks up at her, sees the look on her face, and then is distracted by everything else, by how pretty she looks, and he's like, oh my god, look at you. And she's like, no, not look at me, look at what's about to happen.
They put up a good fight, but those guys have like everything.
Yeah.
Because she goes out through the bed, whatever happens with them, you assume they've just gotten
taken out, yeah.
Straight away, and she goes through the window and puts up a damn good fight.
Yeah.
She goes through that glass
injected then with some sort of
She goes through that glass window with bare feet too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she gets dragged across the cement with the bare feet dragging, and it was just, unnecessary, like, squeamishness. Because she does make a break for it and tries to hide under a car.
That, to me, spoke about even Frenchie and do still have a lot more blind faith in Butcher than Huey does.
Than the agreeing to stay.
Because when they agree to stay, before they do, Butcher's like, oh, no, I've got a plan. And says, what is it? And Butcher just says, give me a few hours. Come on, Huey, you're with me. And they don't push it any further than that. Like, they were ready to run out the door, and all Butcher has to say is, I've got a plan.
Yeah.
And that's enough for them. Whereas Huey takes the stand later in the episode against him. But he's just... Butcher's an absolute bastard in this, way more so than in the comics, and I love it.
There's a really interesting little conversation going on while Butcher's on the phone to Rayner. MM's on the phone to a reporter.
Yeah.
And the reporter won't touch that story. And you can hear him saying that, what don't you want to pollute?
He said, that VOT are making super terrorists.
Yeah. But they're all like, nope, not doing it, not touching it.
Nobody else knows.
Yeah.
V is classified. The only people who know about Nakib are really the military and
whoever
the higher ups in VOT. Yeah, and the boys. So nobody in the public knows about any of the dodgy shit VOT are doing. So if somebody rang up a journalist and said, hey, VOT are making supervillains, and there's absolutely no evidence that he can point to over the phone, I'm not surprised that your man doesn't want to believe him. It'd be different if the revelation about V had come out already, but that hasn't happened yet.
No.
But yeah, Butcher's he's an out and out bastard.
An
out and out bastard, and you see him display a little bit of emotion when he's talking to Mallory, when he's saying, like, about how he used her and, you owe me. And obviously our introduction proper to Mallory.
Yes.
We get to actually meet her face to face.
Again, she's been gender swapped, which I think makes it more powerful, especially the storyline about her grandchildren. Just given female mothering instinct for something so horrific to have happened to the offspring of her offspring. Yeah.
And it mirrors, not quite as fucked up, but it mirrors the Stillwell-Homelander relationship of mother/mentor and trainee who has been manipulated by them.
Yes.
And I think it's interesting that, to me anyway, when Billy's talking to Mallory, you can see a few bits of genuine emotion when he's talking about how she made him this promise and trained him up and manipulated him, but never actually let him get to the goal. And you can see him start to break a little bit. And I feel like that's because Mallory's the only person he can't hide it from.
No, well, Mallory's the one that came to him in his darkest moment and showed him this footage.
And she knows all the tricks he used on the rest of them.
Yeah. She knows exactly what happened. And when she's describing the aftermath of Lamplighter's attack on her grandchildren.
Oh, and there weren't even teeth left.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's even in this nice scene, in his beautiful surroundings, what they're talking about is really dark stuff. Like,
yes.
He's there to get help because his wife was killed, and Mallory took advantage of that situation and trained up Butcher. Butcher's now completely hell-bent on this, and she's the only possible, not lead, but the only possible person who can help him at this stage. Everybody else is useless to him or deserted him. It's
nice to be able to put a face to the name as well, because she's already been referenced in these like hallowed tones as the Mallory Files, and anyone who goes
and we saw her in a flashback
get shit canned immediately.
Yeah.
So what the fuck did she, like, obviously whatever she had been doing is extremely black ops.
Or was it just that
the information that she has is so dangerous?
Or also Mallory was so high up in the CIA that after what happened to her, she was the one who was like, nobody is allowed to ever go near Soups again.
Yeah.
And people who followed on and took over the role from Mallory have just kept that rule of, no, Mallory said it was a really bad idea and look what happened to her. No, Nobody's going near it again. But Yeah, no, we get to see a good bit more of Mallory in season 2, but I'm loving what they've done with her so far. She's I can't think of the actress's name actually, but she's such a presence. She's so
She really,
forceful.
really reminds me of Glenn Close in that she is stunningly beautiful, but she also has that touch of androgyny.
Yeah.
And has a very regal, like she's an elegant woman.
She is, but she's so forceful as well. You never feel like at any point in that conversation between her and Billy that he has the upper hand.
No.
Even when he's using, his whatever various bargaining chips, and she does throw him a bone at the end. But I feel like the only reason she throws him a bone is just to get him to go away.
Yeah, she wants
to be
left
because she feels bad,
alone.
or she doesn't really feel all that guilty about it. But it is very telling.
Layla Robbins.
She's brilliant. Again, it's telling that the only time she really seems to express, emotion beyond kind of anger is the only time she pleads with him over anything is when they're leaving, and she pleads with him not to drag the others to their death.
Yes.
She gives Huey a little warning about vengeance, and she pleads with Billy. She says, don't drag them down with you. Don't get them killed because of your
vendetta
boner for killing Homelander.
Yeah.
And you can see Huey's like, it's really starting to sink in with Huey.
Yeah, well, this is like the first time Huey really, really stands up to him as well, as they're returning to the motel.
Yeah, that's the nail in the coffin.
And he's like, and Butcher slows down and then speeds up again. He's like, wait, hang on. He goes, oh, new window, there's a black van and the pavement's been scrubbed.
It's a Flowers van.
It's a Flowers van.
Which references back to his little rant about getting the moving van. Yeah, don't you think the moving van's a bit conspicuous? No, what I think is conspicuous is a black van with flowers on the side. And that's what's waiting for them in the car park.
And he's like, no, come on, we'll keep on going. And that's the first time I think it really sets in for Huey.
Because Butcher's reaction isn't, shit, the net's closing around us, we gotta go and help the boys. It's, shit, the net's closing around us, we don't have much time to complete my plan.
Yes. I will get my vengeance, that's what they wanted me to do. And he's trying to plead with his humanity about, MM has a daughter. You don't want to do that to him. And that's the first time he really, pulls out his balls and stands up to Butcher, and Butcher responds by calling him a cunt, tell him he's
disgraced to Robin's memory.
Yeah, which is low.
Oh, it's totally low. And he even admits when Huey kind of says, I've been stupid. All you were doing was using me because I was useful to you. Butcher's response, he doesn't deny it. He just says, of course you were useful to me. He tries to make out like it's more, but he certainly doesn't deny it.
No.
And that's what he's been doing to all of them.
Yeah, he's found that one thing, that weakness on all of them, that one thing. And he's using that to get them to do what he wants. And his response to Huey standing up to him is to throw him out of the car and take off.
Well, he doesn't throw him out of the car. They're already out of the car when they're having the argument. But yeah, he tries to, belittle him into going with him. He tries to reason with him. Yeah, he tries to shame him rather than reason with him. And he tries everything that he can. And Huey's like, no, this is ridiculous. We have to go and save them. You're not going to be able to fucking kill Homelander or get your vengeance anyway. Certainly not now. So the only thing that we can and should do is go back and save the boys.
Yeah, they've stood up for
you. And Huey's totally right.
Yeah.
100% in the right. And I don't see how anybody after this episode, and especially in season 2, I don't see how anybody can like Butcher.
I don't understand the people who are idolizing him.
No, that's what I mean. I love the character.
Oh yeah,
but he is not somebody that you should look up
person.
to. He's in that group, Rick from Rick and Morty. And yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah, Butcher's not a cool person.
Get better idols.
Butcher is a fucking asshole. In the words of Bailey
Sarian, get better idols. Come on.
Yeah, I say brilliant characterization, not a role model.
No, should not be somebody you're looking up to. Not a good idea.
And Huey is the man. He tries to get a little bit of help from Starlight, but I'm sure we'll talk about Starlight's journey in this episode a bit later. He thinks he's not going to get any help from Starlight, and then the next we see of him is he's outside the motel car park, and he makes a motion that looks like he's putting a gun to his mouth, and you hear a click, which we discover what that's about a few minutes later. But I love when he walks across the car park and he just gets tackled.
It's so unnecessary. 4 guys full on pile up on him.
And he even responds with what the hell?
The side swipe, the fucking flying shoulder tackle to the midsection sideways.
It's so funny. And he gets, yeah.
They just all pile on him. It's like, remember that video years back of the guy running from the officers, and he comes back and he's like, you didn't get me, I came back, and he's like, my safe word is watermelon.
Oh yeah.
That's what that reminded me of. It was just totally excessive.
Oh, it was yeah. It was completely excessive.
Like, cause he's like, yeah, okay, he's tall, but in fairness, he's a lanky fuck.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But I suppose after the female, they weren't going to be taking any chances.
But they know that there's something, that they have something that is superpowered on their side. But yeah,
it's a bit excessive, but it's hilarious.
It is hilarious. So he gets dragged off and thrown into the cell with
the two lads, yeah.
And I think it's Frenchie's response
when they realise, they're like, oh shit, did they get you and Butcher? And he's like, no, just me. Oh, you got separated? He's like, well, no. Butcher kind of wanted to abandon you guys and I came to save you. Yay. Frenchie's reaction, it's just, it's gold. And it's like something straight out of the comics as well.
Yeah.
Where he can't believe at how useless and futile of a gesture it was for Huey, of all people, to come and try and save them. And the irony being, of course, if he didn't, they wouldn't have been saved.
No, because Butcher wasn't going to come back for them.
Yeah, and it's the retainer that he brings with him that they're able to get out with.
Which is why you see him clicking into the roof of his mouth just before he gets rugby tackled. And you've got Frenchie's whole thing is just amazement and confusion.
Yeah.
At the same time, about how never has anybody thrown away their life on so futile a gesture. And he's just... Oh,
I love it. I absolutely love it.
He's like, oh, but I managed to snuggle in my 12th grade retainer and I put it in with polydent so that it looks like a permanent one. And he's like, you can... And it's really smart. He's like, you can pick it with anything and there's primo wire in this.
Yeah.
But then he can't get it out of his mouth. And then you've got Frenchie digging his fingers into his mouth, trying to get it out.
Basically fisting Huey's throat.
With the commentary from MM, that really does sound like badly done porn, where he's like, harder, go in deeper.
Yeah, get in there deep, Frenchie.
And Huey's like gagging, and it won't come out. And then you've got MM going, right, I'm going to punch it out your mouth.
No, but Huey's disbelief when Frenchie stops, and he's like, what the fuck, Frenchie?
He's like, I'm going to punch that thing out of your mouth. It's going to sting a little bit.
And to be able to punch like that with your hands cuffed together, that's a wallop that Huey takes.
And he really does cold cock him too. He's like, we're going to do it on 3. Bang. And he spits it out, but then just like cries in a ball.
Yeah, and they escape pretty quickly. After they get the wire out, they just kind of gloss over how they get out, and you see them knocking out a guard and taking their gun.
They pick.
Yeah,
pick,
oh yeah. We don't need to see it. There's enough going on in this episode.
We already know that Frenchie can pick locks, so that's it's been
explained prior to that. That's fine. And we get the I can't even thinking about it. When they actually go to rescue the female. Or when they find the female and Frenchie gets shot and they're hiding behind the wall, at the bit with Huey with the gun, it's just...
That room funny. That they have the female in, like it's the clear sterile room surrounded by the desolation of like civilization, was really reminiscent of 12 Monkeys.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, when they go to find the girl and she's in that room that's done up like the child's room. Again, you've got it in BioShock with the little sisters' rooms.
Yeah.
Are all like lovely and done, and then you step outside and it's just carnage and mayhem and violation and...
Again, that juxtaposition of imagery that we were talking about.
Yeah, but it like the fact that the female is very much an innocent in all of this. Yes, she has done horrific things, but these things have been inflicted upon her and she's just lashing out because she's afraid. So to have her as this image in this white room hooked up against her will. Yeah,
and separated from all the grime outside. Yeah. Like,
especially now that she's just kind of made herself clean and pretty and presentable as far as, that happen to her.
It's a very deep reading, because all I could think about watching that scene is just Huey going, I'm sorry! While he's shooting. It's just, too good.
There's a lot of things that are very, very deliberate in this, and a lot of the females often...
You just pick up more of them than I do.
The females like once they've cleaned her up out of all the blood, she's in extremely bright, sunny, cheerful colours. Which kind of, her personality seems to be more of that sunshine type. That, like, okay, she's sitting there enjoying Shark Week, but she just she just wants to be reminded of being a child terrorist, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, she's slowly kind of coming out of her shell.
Yeah. But yeah, then you've got Huey being handed a rather large assault weapon.
The whole thing about that, between Frenchie shouting at him, like, he's like, what do I do? You pull the fucking trigger now! And it just, everything about that, I just die laughing.
He has very good gun control. That was short control bursts. There wasn't any like mad flailing or anything, because like
no screaming of suppressing fire.
No, they're suppressing fire extinguisher. Because that's a high powered weapon. He should have just been like knocked over straight away.
Yeah.
But yeah, screaming "I'm sorry" at everybody that he shot, and then crouching back down, being like, "It's out of bullets. What do I do?" And he's like, "Reload." How do I reload? And Frenchie's just doing it for him.
Yeah.
And he stands up and starts shooting again. Also, the way he hunkers down.
Oh, he's a tall motherfucker.
Yeah.
He is a tall motherfucker. He ain't no wee Huey.
No, he is tall, but his hunker is so funny because he's just like, help me.
I can't praise that scene enough. I love it. It's so fucking funny.
And you've got MM then coming back, and they're back behind the wall. And
they get cornered.
Immediately. Like, because they've only got, like, 2 magazines?
Mm.
And they're getting cornered up against the wall, and they're told to turn around because they're all going to be shot in the back of the head, executioner style.
Yep.
And in Rock Starlight, because she's been reminded that she actually is a hero. And she needs to save people and do the right thing.
Yeah, and Annie's journey in this episode, it's...
to that point is very, very interesting.
Yeah, and it's really heartfelt. Like, I believe Erin Moriarty in every scene she's in.
Oh,
like,
God.
Especially the first one with her and her mom.
Yeah, so you've got her confronting her mother over these revelations, because Huey has told her about Vought and about what's going on and about V.
Yeah.
And she's trying to come to terms with the fact that she has been told her whole life that she was born like this. She was chosen by God. And given the area of the US she's from, religion underpins an awful lot of your community. Yeah. And of your lifestyle. So she's trying to reconcile that with this knowledge that actually she was made in a lab, which is very, very different to her comic book origin, which is that she blinded both of her parents, at birth, and she was given to a foster family, which is revealed were a Vought family who encouraged her, like, that most soup children were placed within foster families or within Vought pre-approved families who would promote going to pageants, developing their powers, you know.
This is nearly worse though, because these, in the comics, those are people who are there for that express purpose.
Yeah, whereas this...
Annie's mum has, is her biological mum and still did this to her. And as much as she's finding out, her superpowers were created and not God-given.
Her mother's lied her to her whole life.
Her whole life was made for her.
Yeah.
And she says it that she was never able to figure out, that's why she's never able to figure out who the fuck she is. Because her mom did everything for her. You were made a superhero at birth by Vought, and then I set about making sure that I did everything I could to make you a big star superhero.
And she's like, this is our dream, and Annie responds with, no, this is your dream. Yeah. I never had a chance to find out what my dreams were. And I'd say that there's a lot of children, who would be adults now across the world, who have tried to live up to their parents' shadows and dreams and things like that. Either being made do pageants or do a sport that they didn't like or anything like that because their parents are trying to relive the glory days. Only in this instance, this is somebody with life-changing powers who's been made to reveal to... It's almost like a weird fucked up version of Munchausen by proxy.
Yeah. Anybody who's had an overbearing parent in that regard, pushing them to do, like you said, sport or beauty pageants or talent shows or whatever it is, could totally relate to Annie and her relationship with her mom. Like, she is supposed to be that dance mom, that pageant mom, that cheerleader mom, or whatever, the helicopter parent. Bat dad. Yeah.
But it is, dad. Yeah. And she's like, oh, but I was happy. Her mom, I think the thing about that really, really got me on that scene was the mom being like, but I gave up, I got up at 5 a.m. and I gave up all my life too. And Annie was like, but that was
it was her choice. Yeah, she's the one who decided.
Don't you put that on me. I'm not the one who decided I wanted to do all of these things. She's spoken about it in previous episodes that she used to do all the Little Miss pageants and things like that, which are presumably the toddler pageants. No child wants to do those. Not of their own free will.
Yeah.
And by the time they're old enough to be doing like the teenage pageants or whatever, you know, that's just a thing that they did.
Yeah, and even the set dressing of that scene, Annie's mum's house is filled with posters of Annie, and they're new posters.
It's
all to do with Annie being in the Seven and Citizen Starlight posters, and it's just the whole, like, nearly every wall.
There's
has
a few that were from her time in Teenage Kicks, or not Teenage Kicks, whatever the one was she was in.
Young Americans.
There's a few of the Young Americans ones from things that they did, but the bigger ones, like, you can see them in the background.
Yeah.
Like the smaller, like the local covers and the local magazines and local conventions. And then you've got, now none of them are in the slushy uniform though. Did you notice that? They're all in her super conservative uniform. I prefer the conservative uniform. I think it speaks more to who Annie is.
Yeah.
So when you do see her in the trampy one, you can see her physical uncomfortableness as well. Anytime
Annie's in the trampy outfit in this episode is when she's playing up the Vought good girl side of things.
Yeah.
Anytime she's in her Starlight outfit, she's being true to herself.
Yeah.
And when she's in her civilian clothes, she hasn't made up her mind.
No.
In this episode. And that scene with her mum at the start really kind of hammered home for me. That was Annie's last kind of pillar. She's lost her faith in superheroes. She's lost her faith in her mum. She's lost her faith in Huey. And now she's lost her faith even in her own powers.
Yeah.
You know, she had lost her faith in her mum because her mum was kind of forcing her to do the thing even though she knew she didn't want to. And then she finds out, even worse, my mum is the one who made me like this and these aren't God-given powers. And Dad didn't even leave because he was bad with money. Dad left because he couldn't handle what he'd done to me.
Yeah.
Poor Annie has nothing left,
and the fact that her mother tries to explain it away is, they only paid covered the medical costs.
Yeah, I didn't do it for money. And that, again, it's like, Vought didn't even pay? How Vought is that?
Yeah, it was only medical costs. No, in saying that, it's also the US and medical costs can run right up.
Yeah, true.
But at the same time...
I wouldn't be surprised, though, if medical costs only meant the medical costs of giving her the V and monitoring her after the V was given. They probably didn't even pay for the births.
I would have actually sympathised more with her mom if her mom had been like, you were premature and you were sick and yada 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 and we didn't know if you were going to live and we were, if it had come across it that they had been kind of preyed upon by Vought.
Well, we were saying
being,
that in episode 5, I think, or episode 6.
When you find out that it is the NICU babies. And
we thought that's probably how Vought go in. They go into premature babies or whatever, or people with premature babies or babies that have problems.
Yeah, that are like terminal.
Hey, we can make them a superhero and save them.
Yeah, we can give them this serum.
Yeah.
You know, if she had turned around and been like, you were dying and, we couldn't afford this, that and the other, and then, how would you feel if this was your child and somebody came up to you and said, we have this miracle drug, you would do anything to save them. But there doesn't seem to be any sort of, not that saying that that's a defense, but she doesn't seem to even have an argument like that. It was just that, they paid the medical costs.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to have been anything inherently wrong with her.
No, they just came and they said, hey, we can make your daughter a superhero and she'll have an amazing life. And the mum went, ooh, that's deadly because then I can be rich and famous because of it. Yeah. And that was really all. It seems like that was all the mum needed. And then trying to
justify it as God did choose you. God brought Vought into our lives.
Lovely little bit of mental gymnastics from her. Oh no, it was still God's plan.
Yeah, she's deluded herself into believing that this is the right thing that she's done.
Yeah, even all along she knew it wasn't God-given powers, but she was like, well, it's God-given in a way. And yeah, poor Annie storms out, and when we next see her, she's just sitting in a church.
Listening to the choir
presumably contemplating. And it's I think it's a little reference to the comics in I'm currently rereading The Third Trade, and I just got to that bit where she's kind of sitting in church having a conversation with
It isn't God this conversation?
No. It's just her kind of talking out all the stuff that she's gone through to God, trying to figure out whether or not he's there. And I think it is supposed to be a reference to that scene in the comics. But what happens in the show is Huey shows up and says, hey, sorry for all that shit I did, but come and help me anyway, yeah? I know the last time I saw you was when my mate shot you and I let him shoot you and I ran away.
Yeah, with a 50 cal in the middle of a public park.
And his choice of words when he's like...
Thought I'd give it a shot.
Yeah, I knew you sometimes come to this church, so I thought I'd give it a shot.
But he does have a cheek turning around to ask her to help, and she is rightly furious with him.
Like Mallory, she's got a righteous fury at him showing up. Like Mallory, she's like, how dare you show up and ask me for anything?
Yeah. You come in, you implode my life, you make me, she was saying she had to act like an idiot because she was nearly arrested just for knowing him.
Yeah,
and she had to make out like that she was some ditzy bimbo who got taken in by him.
Yeah, and you wanted me to forget all that and now come and help your psycho killer friends? Like, no.
Yeah, especially after like you've killed Translucent. We know she knows for definite that he has actively murdered somebody.
Yeah, well, she tried to arrest him the last time
yeah.
she saw him. You see, she's still got a little... She tells him to fuck off, and as he's walking away, she's kind of like, What on earth made you think that I would help you?
Though I get that when she turns back around and she starts shouting at them, it is that thing where when you're so mad at somebody, and you're like, I don't even want to talk to you, and you're thinking about it, and you're like, hang on, no. You need to explain to me about this. I need to know about this because this will bother me. That's what it is. She's like, why... After everything you've done to me, why would you think I would still help you? Like, what is it about me that makes you think you can walk all over me and come back in here? Yeah. And he does, and he explains to her, and it's very valid. Like, she saved his life. Yeah,
he says, you're a superhero. And she says, I haven't really saved anybody lately. And he says, well, you saved me.
Yeah.
And he talks about how when they went bowling, that, he was heading towards a cliff, and her being just the good person that she was.
Pulled him back. And she says, that was just being there. And he says, well, yeah, but that was what I needed. And that's a very important sentiment, because sometimes just being there can save somebody. Yeah. He reminds her an awful lot of like why she got into it, and I think that's it. Is Hughie will always remind her of who she is at her core, that he's always there to be her cheerleader and lift her up and be like, you are a good person and you're a superhero. And you always try to do the right thing. And you can see it almost gets through to her. But then she's like, no, you know what, fuck off. And she goes off, and the next time we see her, she's 7 or 8 drinks deep. Oh, flirting with the Navy guy. Or whatever he's from. I just assume he's in white. So it's some corporate bullshit. It's a party to celebrate them getting into the military. Yeah. And there's a bunch of military people there. And there's a beautiful little Black Noir nugget. Our favourite Black Noir bit with the guy at the piano. And when he sits down and the guy's just like, But he's not. I'm going to go. He sits down and your man kind of looks at him and continues to play. And then the head just very slowly tilts. And there's that mask is incredible. Because I've never seen something that has no obvious, there's no eyebrows, there's no shit that moves on it. But yet it conveys such emotion through his body type. Yeah. Just the way he very slowly turns and the head tilts and looks at him. And your man's like, I'm going to go take a break. And then he starts to play a wonderfully accomplished piano piece. And Black Noir is just... He's just full of surprises. Yeah, he can dance, he can play piano, he can paint, he loves kitties. Because there's a shot of him and there's a small video from one of the outtakes, I think, of him playing with kitties. Yeah, well, he likes Japanese tea ceremonies. Yeah. And violence. Lots of violence. Lots of violence. But he's an unusual character. He's the wild card as a 7 because nobody seems to know anything about him. Nobody knows what he looks like outside of that outfit. Yeah, he doesn't exactly talk to anybody. He alternates between comic relief and just violence. Yeah. And I love it. I love Black Noir. I love it. Yeah, no, that is just hilarious. And you've got to wonder, your man's probably in the back shitting himself and was like, somebody's probably yelling at him going, you're supposed to be playing. And he's like, you want to tell Black Noir? You go out there and have that conversation with him. He has access to a lot of piano wire. I'm not having that conversation with him. No, I love it. I think it is one of my favourite Black Noir bits from the entire season. Better than him popping and locking in the first episode. Yeah. Better than him staring blankly at Annie when she tries to introduce herself. It's just that poor piano man. And I love it. I love it. Yeah, but apart from Black Noir and the magnificence that is, and everything else that goes down at the party there, we get a really nice scene with Annie and Maeve. Yeah, well, Annie's like you said, she's a couple of drinks deep, and she's flirting with this guy, and she's like, electricity comes in, sparks come out, and my eyes glow when and he's like, ooh, let's move this party somewhere more private, and you can see it in her. She's like, let's you hold on there for a second. And she makes a very polite exit. Which
and a
wouldn't have
beeline
been,
for the bathroom.
Yeah, but in fairness, if that was me, I'd have been like, I gotta puke. Move, like, it would have been like, run, get out of the way. Because
Yeah, but that's you.
Yeah. But Maeve spots her going past and is like, I need to go and have a word with you. She can see that she's completely self-destructing.
Yeah.
So
it's not an Annie she's seen before.
No, so she
but
walks
it's something
into the
she
bathroom.
recognises.
Annie's there on the big white phone to God.
But before we get into that, when she's flirting with fucking Private Pretty Boy, and she's showing him the powers, where you actually see the power in her hands, and you can see the glow, and you can see her veins inside her hand.
Yeah,
that was
it's
really
very nice.
nicely done.
And she's just holding it over the phone, and the phone's going all staticky.
Yeah, drawing power from that. It's really nicely done. But yeah, Maeve. Well, Annie thinks Maeve's coming in to be a bitch.
Yeah.
But Maeve actually comes in and attempts to... Well, Annie kind of cuts her off and says, basically tells her to fuck off. Like, I'm not in the mood for your shit. And Maeve kind of says, look, hey, remember that thing you said about marketing and making up that story about me? No, it was legit. And kind of opens up to her. And it's a really nice bit of characterization for Maeve, because we find out not exactly what's happened to her, but she tells us, I was like you once.
Yeah.
And
this is your future. If you continue down the path you're on.
Yeah, I was going through
You're going to end up dry, bitter, alone at the world, like angry at the world.
Yeah, that's what I did. I came in, I was like you, I didn't get what I expected and started to do what you're doing, and look, this is your future if you keep going where you're going. And says, look, there's already one of me, you be you be the good girl, and you be the annoying goody two shoes that you are. And I think that, more than what Huey said to her earlier about saving him, that has an effect on her.
Yeah, because Maeve in particular, she's already stated numerous times, Annie has, that Maeve is her role model, and she read her biography so much that she wore out the bindings on it. Maeve's aware of that, so Maeve as well, I'd say, sees a lot of herself in Annie and what she was like when she was 23 and had an ass you could bounce a quarter off.
As she says, yeah.
She recognizes how far she's fallen as well.
Yeah,
she's an alcoholic with numerous failed relationships, this weird fucked up thing that she's going on with Homelander. They used to date for media or whatever
for some reason,
and that he's like the abusive ex that's never going to let her leave.
Yeah,
she has to, who she is as a person has to be hidden away from the spotlight entirely.
And we see a lot more of that in season 2.
Yeah, it's a nice having, I think, especially having female writers come on and take on these characters, because all you really get of Maeve throughout the comic book run is alcoholic ice queen. There's not a lot else going on there, except for when she
offers. There's a few bits that we've already seen in the show, and that's basically Maeve's full arc in the comics.
Yeah, she throws out little tidbits, but even at the same time in the comic books, it just comes across as in Vino Veritas is kicking in an awful lot in the comic books. She's sitting there sipping her gin martini. Good girl. She's having a proper martini. But it is like these very dry, sarcastic, throwaway lines that are good advice, but it's so snared up in all this bile.
Yeah,
that
you
don't know how to take them.
The characters in the comics are a lot more one-dimensional. A lot of them go through no change whatsoever in the comics, and those that do, they basically go kind of from one state to another. And
it's nice to see the subtlety.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, the characterizations in the show are just so much better, and I think we will probably talk a lot about that next week in our kind of season 1 wrap.
Yeah.
But yeah, Maeve in the show is she's so much better. There's so much more going on, and they really flesh her out.
Yeah, she's an extremely complex character who's going through an almost similar story arc as Starlight, but it's almost the reverse. Starlight has been thrown into this and is learning to swim. Maeve's realised she's drowning.
Yeah, and I think there's parallels there as well between Frenchie and Kimiko, in that Maeve thinks that if she can, she might have a little bit of redemption for herself through helping Starlight.
Yeah.
That if she can stop Starlight from becoming her.
It's too late from her. But if she can stop it happening to somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems to have an effect on Annie, because the next time we see her then is when she's rescuing the boys at the end of the episode. And she tells Huey, you know, it's like you said, I'm a fucking superhero.
Yeah.
But she's gotten that support from, she's had both of them. Huey telling her, well, you are a superhero. You saved me and you saved people. And then Maeve telling her, well, look, this new thing, it's not going to work for you. You'll end up like me. Be who you're supposed to be. And she realizes that, you know, despite everything else, that's what she still wants to do. Like she said in the very first episode, she wants to save people.
Yeah.
That's who Annie is at her core.
Yeah. And she's tried, they've taken that naive and hopeful, because she was extremely naive.
Yeah, the naivety is gone. That's been stripped away.
But the thing,
very traumatically for her throughout the season.
The thing is that Maeve is like, don't lose the hope.
Yeah, don't lose the hope. And it seems that the one thing that they can't strip away from Annie is her drive to save people.
Yeah, at her core, she is good. Yeah,
and Annie goes on. She doesn't just kind of stop there either. You know, what we see from Annie in season 2 again
is a progression of that, of her doing the right thing.
It gets a bit more grey.
It does get a lot more grey, but at the end of the day, she's still trying to do the right thing, which is more important than doing nothing. Yeah.
So, an hour into the record, should we talk about Homelander and Stillwell?
Oh, God.
The end of Oedipus. Homelander
fucking Oedipus
gets the biddy and then some.
Oh, well, you've got Stillwell's it's our first introduction to Edgar. To the Mr. Edgar, who's been spoken of in hushed tones, portrayed by Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, portrayed by the absolutely excellent Giancarlo Esposito.
Because you need a villain. There you go.
No, Giancarlo Esposito is brilliant as Edgar. We only see this little bit of him here. We get a lot more of him in season 2, and he is just fantastic.
It's very funny trying to reconcile the person that is presented in this episode with the I've X-rayed him. You know, he's got blood like engine oil.
Yeah, because he just seems to be a cool, calm kind of presence. And we just get a little tidbit of him in that he gives Madeline a bonus, says,
written on a napkin. Come on, you're in a multi-million-dollar facility. You cannot write down something on like a night. You can't type up a little proposal. No, you got to write a figure on a napkin and slide it across the table like a dodgy deal.
It's the cliche thing. It's have a look at that figure. It has to be on a napkin. It's just the way it's done.
Not here. We put piles of money in a brown paper bag and then sneaky it.
To politicians.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, no, we get that little bit of Edgar. He tells Madeline, look, I've had my eye on you and you're probably going to be my successor.
Yeah, you got to move your office down to 82. Basically, you did good, kid. And Stillwell lights up.
Oh, yeah, it's one of the few bits of genuine emotion we see through her when she kind of excitedly slams on the table and knocks her glass over and is like, wee! And then immediately she's like,
back to being dignified.
Yeah.
Which then leads to the confrontation with Homelander up on the catwalk above it.
Where Homelander spills the beans as to him being the one who created the super terrorists.
Yeah.
Stillwell doesn't know how to react as he's going through that. She's like, do I congratulate
Oh, she's desperately, when he's standing behind her, she's trying to rearrange her face into something that is not like...
When he's like, well, say something.
And she's like, make the face do a thing.
And the only thing that she can revert to is, well, I had better use the L seduction tactic.
Yeah.
It seems like that, anything else she's tried doesn't seem to have worked. So she's like, well, let's do this. And they go the full hog upstairs in her office.
On that dirty, sticky couch.
The most uncomfortable sex scene I've ever seen in my life.
The picture of him bare ass on that cape. I'm like, dude, at least, he just played it. She's like, take off your pants.
But to the way he awkwardly slaps her on the hip and not the ass and...
No, that's weird because she's saying be gentle and it's almost like he's trying to control himself. That's what it came across as to me, is he's like, I can't grab you. So he's like, I don't know what to do. And she pins his hands down.
Oh yeah, because
it's really, really similar to the Jeep. Those two scenes, although he's a willing participant in it, but it is as uncomfortable, and the two women
I don't know if it's as uncomfortable.
The two women are in a similar position of power.
Yeah, Homelander doesn't know what to do because he's presumably
This
when
isn't
he
the
has
first
sex.
time this has happened.
But presumably when he has sex, he is the one who like takes control, and she's like, no. And she starts saying all weird motherly stuff to him.
Sweet boy.
And I'm going to take care of you. And he just blows his load immediately.
And then goes, I'm sorry.
That's
the second funniest thing I've ever heard from somebody when somebody came.
Okay. First being, you can't just say that.
The downstairs neighbour who used to go hammy kammy kai.
Kamehameha.
And I used to be able to hear it.
Yeah.
That was the funniest thing I've ever heard. And they heard me laughing one day because he had his windows open. And I just lost it. And I could never look him in the eye after that. But yeah, going, oh, I'm sorry.
And she tells him, no, you did good. You did good.
Oh, you're my good strong boy. No.
Yeah, no, that just...
That actually was less uncomfortable to watch than the whole...
The biddy scene.
Yeah. There was something just really, really fucking about that. This one at least was a bit... Like, it was still uncomfortable, but I think it was because it was a more mature act that they were engaging in as opposed to this mother-child
but
cosplay
but
weird,
she at the
like,
same time
with the fingers in the mouth. Like, it just...
I know, but even still, at the same time, the way she was talking to him was very much like a mother would talk to their child. You know,
yeah, but she didn't have
put your pants down, sit down. No, don't do that. Be gentle. You're a good boy. I'm going to take care of you. It's just...
And then then afterwards he's curled up with his head on her lap and she's stroking his head.
And she's
she lets telling him about, Edgar basically offered me his job.
He's worried. You're still going to be my day to day. And everything would have been okay for Stillwell if she just had stopped what she was saying one sentence short. Because when he says no more lies and no more secrets, and she says, I promise, she says, I wanted to spare you the hurt because you take on so much. I didn't want you to know about, suffer the pain of losing a baby to miscarriage.
Yeah, she just
said losing a baby. Everything would have been fine. But she says miscarriage, and Homelander's like, that's not what Vogelbaum said.
Yeah, do you not know the art of lying?
That's not.
Keep it vague. Keep the details as close to what actually happened as possible.
In his face when she's saying that, you can see
the hardening.
The change. And she would have been fine if it hadn't been for that, but nope, she says it, and we catch back up at Stillwell then when she goes home, and
that is the worst private driver.
Yeah, Miles. I have it in my notes. Miles is shit at his job.
Miles is shit at his job.
Yeah, Miles sucks is what I have. Miles sucks at his job. As you said when we were watching it, if he was her driver, and
he's probably her bodyguard.
Yeah, he's probably her bodyguard and driver. For her, like, she's the VP of a multinational, multi-billion corporation. Teams. Yeah, she's got security teams. Yeah, so that was a bit... Although, I suppose if they did have some sort of security team, we'd be sitting here bitching about, well, how did Billy take out that security team all on? So,
yeah, true.
So she goes in and she realises that Billy's there. And he says, look, baby's safe. And your nanny's just been drugged, but she's okay.
She's out the back in the pool house, presumably conked out.
Yeah, and she says, I know who you are and I know why you're here and I don't know why you think that threatening me and my child will get you Homelander. And he says, well, look.
I do like the reversal of he doesn't spin around in a chair and he doesn't move forward into the light. He sits back into the light. And I just like that. It was like, because he's leaning forward on his knees. Like with his elbows on his knees, and he sits back into it. I was like, that's nice. There's so
many like just pretty shots, and the framing in this episode, just fantastic.
But she doesn't panic or anything like that. She keeps it cool. Like,
she does look worried, but
for a
obviously,
woman who's been dealing with Homelander for how long?
The only time she cracks is when
anytime Teddy's involved.
No, well, in that scene with Butcher, when it's just Butcher and her, the only time she cracks is when Butcher says, I'm going after his weakness, and she says he's got no weakness. They're throwing everything there possibly is at him, and he's been fine. And he says, "Oh no, you're the only person he gives two shits about. You're his weakness." And she goes, "Me?" And her voice kind of cracks when she says it. She's worried then because she knows he's right, or at least she thinks he right. is, because when he shows up and starts playing rapey Santa.
Yeah, well,
Rapey
Madeline,
Santa.
poor Madeline ends up tied to a chair in a bomb vest.
Yeah.
Like, and Homelander rocks up. He's like, I know you can see me because you've got X-ray vision. Why don't we stop playing Rapey Santa and come on downstairs? And
It's just, I love that line.
Butcher's left the child upstairs in the crib. Homelander brings him down.
Yeah, and it's just a pure sadistic move.
That Homelander walking down those stairs, cradling that baby that he hates so much. And you're going, what the fuck is he going to do? Is he going to kill the child and blame it on Butcher? To get the baby out of the,
Yeah, I think he's just brought it down just to be...
just to fuck with him?
Well, no, we have to assume he goes in there knowing that he's going to kill Stillwell.
Yeah.
So...
Well, whichever way this is playing out, Stillwell's probably not going to come out of it alive, especially if she's being used as leverage against him. Yeah,
but I'd say he probably was going to kill Stillwell.
Yeah.
After finding out the real truth from Vogelbaum.
Yeah.
So he's just brought Teddy down just as a sadistic power move.
Yeah.
To terrify Stillwell before he actually kills her.
I do like the fact that when he's talking about going back and double checking the details with Vogelbaum and saying he put the squeeze on him.
You can hear the glove.
Yeah, the glove creaking.
Yeah.
Because as we discover in season 2, he literally put the squeeze on Vogelbaum.
Yes, he did.
But that scene is very, very interesting power play because they're all aware of who each other is now.
Yeah.
Butcher's the only one who doesn't know the truth about what happened to his wife.
Yeah, Butcher thinks he's in the strongest position of power in that scenario. But really he's not at all. And Homelander
plays that to his advantage.
Eventually. But the way he plays that, the way he's talking to Billy about, is it really just over your wife? And, do you even know for sure that I did it? Because as he knows... Excuse me.
There's no
proof. He knows... Well, he knows there's no proof because he now knows he didn't kill Becca. Becca's not dead. Becca's alive. She's off with his son. Billy doesn't know that. Well, we don't know that until the end of the episode.
No.
But, yeah, he knows all this. So he knows for a fact when he's talking to Butcher that he didn't. So he's curious to see. He's like, is it really just on a hunch that you've gone to all this length to get at me? And when he asks him, what his plan is, and he's like, is it just to blow her up? And he's like, yeah, I just want to fucking hurt you. And he's like, that's pretty dark. I like it.
Yeah. I like that. His whole plan, he's like, I'm not here to kill you. I just want to hurt you. I just want to hurt you really badly. And I'm going to do it by taking away her.
Yeah, and while even a matter of a few hours ago, that might have really upset Homelander, now it doesn't matter a shit to him. And it shows as well just how low Butcher is, because he knows he can't kill Homelander.
No.
So he's happy to absolutely just leave the boys behind as, casualties in his wake, just so that he can emotionally hurt Homelander.
Yeah, he just wants to fuck him over.
And it really hammered home that that's all he cares about. Doesn't care about the boys, doesn't care about anything except for hurting Homelander. Doesn't even care if he dies, so long as he can hurt Homelander just some small bit.
Yeah, he's like, I took everything. You took everything away from me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take a little bit away from you. All the interactions then, and Homelander, because Stillwell's begging, because Teddy, the child, is screaming, and she's like, take him upstairs, and then you see Homelander cracking, because as it's quite jovial, the tone he's using to talk to Butcher.
Yeah.
And then but when he tells her to shut the fuck up, and you see that change again, where it's extremely aggressive and it's immediate.
And you see the change in Stillwell, because I don't think...
And she cowers.
I don't think she's ever been talked to by him like that.
No. And she does admit that she's afraid of him.
And that's one of the things I really like, that all throughout the season he's wanted her love.
Yeah.
He's wanted Stillwell's love and still all of her attention. That's why he hates Teddy, because Teddy's taken her love away from him. And when he realises she's lied to him all this time, and she lied to him again directly, like literally within a sentence.
The same breath.
Yeah, in the same breath as saying, I promise never to lie to you again, she lied to him. And he knows, no, she never loved me. She was just trying to control me. So if I can't control people through love, what's the other thing he likes to control them through? Is fear. So he's not happy until she says, I'm scared. I'm scared of you. And when she finally says that, he's like, that's all I wanted to hear. Now I can kill you.
Yeah, he takes her head in his hands, kisses her on the forehead, and then stares deep into her eyes.
Yes.
And then I really wanted barbecue.
Well, it's a literal representation of the phrase "if looks could kill," isn't it?
Oh yeah. He had fucking precision then. He didn't go straight. He didn't just straight through the back of the skull. He did that slowly. He does have precision because he does that.
How you don't need precision? Well, he was 2 inches from her eyes with his eyes.
You've seen him zoop people through the head in one go.
Yeah.
Zoop, and dead. Whereas it's very slow and calculated, and he burns away, but he never goes through the back of her skull.
No.
But he does liquefy her entire brain.
Yeah.
And most of her face. He melts her face off.
Yeah.
And then you can see it still glowing inside, which is quite cool. No, like when he stops doing it and you can see things are like kind of glowing away. It's fantastic.
And there's
the CG
bits of blood running down her
Yeah.
face as well. It's an amazing bit of VFX. And I remember the first time we watched it, I was not expecting that.
No.
I didn't
think they'd kill her off.
No, I hadn't really picked up on the importance of the miscarriage line.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until he shows up and he actually said to her, "You should have gotten your story straight with Volvo Bam." And I went back and I was like, oh, he's really unhappy with her. I still wasn't expecting him to kill her there and then.
No, well, really considering we watched that same episode, we've actually had to watch it twice in the last 24 hours because I fell asleep during the first watch through.
Yeah, we watched it last night and didn't record, so we rewatched it today and I'm recording now.
So yeah, running through it twice in very close succession as well has helped pick up on those little cues that are there.
Yeah, well, the miscarriage line is one that I was a little bit ashamed that I didn't pick up on the first time that I watched it.
No, this is a big exposition dump episode because
exposition dump's probably not fair.
Because they are wrapping up storylines. There is a lot of, I do this for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, no, there is.
A lot of motivations are coming to light.
Yeah, there's a lot wrapped up for the end of the season. So the VE super terrorist plotline is wrapped up in as much as we know who did it and how it went down. And
who wasn't involved in it.
Yeah, who wasn't involved.
So you've got to wonder then, if Madeline wasn't involved, was Edgar?
Yeah.
Somebody had to know V was going missing from those labs.
True, it depends on how much they produce, I suppose, or...
Well, given how much he seemed to have in that, he had at least a duffel bag's worth.
True. And it's not something that's overtly addressed in season 2, if I recall. So
no.
we'll have to watch it with a careful eye.
But for it to be their top secret drug, like, it doesn't just go walkabout. Somebody higher up had to approve of that. So you've got to wonder, did Edgar approve that too? Yeah,
but we get a lot wrapped up. Well, wrapped up, and then kind of it follows on. So we get the wrap up of the CAA boys storyline of them trying to take down Vought. Well, it turns out that didn't work too well, and Vought have won out on that one.
Yeah.
But
in fairness, that's what happens a lot of the time if you try and take on a big corporation.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So you've got
But which does set up threads as well for the second season.
So you've got, once Billy loses his leverage over Homelander, because Homelander's wiped out his leverage, Billy just goes, fuck it, releases the detonator, and you think that's the end of it for Billy. You've got the boys all thinking that they're about to be executed, and then there's a bright light behind them, and it's Starlight to the rescue.
Yes. Oh yeah, of course we haven't talked about that yet.
No.
Really have we?
No, so...
It's a beautiful fight scene.
No, but you've got the 4 lads, you think that they're all about to exit this life.
Yeah, get shot execution style, 2 to the back of the skull.
But unlike Billy, they have Starlight who comes to their rescue. And she starts taking out the guards, and you've got the beautiful scenes coming through the shower, the spark curtains off the lights because she's drawing so much power. And the SWAT guy who comes up behind her, who just emerges through the sparks to get taken out.
And then there's the bloke she punches up into the ceiling who doesn't come back down.
No, I'm gonna assume he landed on a rafter.
Yeah, but yeah,
because they're generally fairly good about the trajectory of their victims in this. I will give the VFX team that, like, they do plot where people come back down, or at least where parts of them do. So I'm going to assume he got caught on something up there. She's rescued them. So
there's a nice little look as well from from Frenchie and MM at Huey when Annie shows up.
Yeah.
Of like,
you were right.
Shit, you were right all along about her.
Yeah.
She came to help us out.
And I think that they've finally kind of admitted that, not all soups are bad.
Well, she certainly won over everybody there.
Yeah.
You know, she's won over the female. Well, the female's passed out. But when she finds out, well, we assume she'll be happy.
Yeah.
And she's won over Frenchie and she's won over definitely.
So they're making their grand escape. And A-Train saunters in. And you've got, well, prior to this, A-Train's got a really interesting little story arc going on in this because he's got the smashed up leg. So he's going around in civilian clothes, which is one of the only times you see him in civvy clothes.
Yeah.
And he goes into a sports store.
Still colour themed.
Yeah. He goes into a sports store and Shockwave's like new shoe merch is out and he's looking at it and he's all pissed off and he's being followed by a security guard.
Yeah.
And you can see other kids in the store like, oh my god, that's A-Train. But he turns around and he confronts the security guard, which is he has every right to do. He is being profiled. And he's like, oh, I'm A-Train. And the security guard's like, yeah, well, I'm Homelander. And then he realises he's being filmed and very quickly changes his tune. And it's not just that he's been racially profiled as well. It's the fact that you were saying this, his ego is so massive that he can't cope with people not knowing who he is. He does that. He goes off on this little rant about how he's A-Train and he's the fastest man in the world on crutches.
Yep. And
then you see him, he's obviously back on the V because then he's pulling a training and his brother Nathan rocks up and is like, what the fuck is on... What are you doing?
Yeah, basically tells him,
muppet.
You know, I'm not going to sit here and watch you kill yourself
with that shit. Yeah,
yeah.
And he just accuses him of being. He does the atypical thing. He's like, "Oh, you're just jealous of me because you're nothing."
Yeah.
And it's like, no, he just cares that he's your brother. He's just looking out for you, you dick. Like you were talking about, you've already said that you grew up in a really poor area. You would have grown up around drug abuse and like.
Yeah, he would have seen addiction issues before.
Yeah, and his older brother in particular seems to have wanted to shelter him from all of that. And for him to turn around and be using it and then accuse him is a bit of a slap in the face because his brother has stood by him through everything.
Yeah, I was reading in the trivia that Jesse Usher spent a lot of time before filming talking with Kripke about how they wanted to portray A-Train.
Yeah. He's a very sad figure.
He wanted to... Jesse Usher very much wanted to portray him as... like one of these absolutely, ultra elite athletes who's at the top of their game, but is completely paranoid and terrified of losing their position and their abilities. Yeah. And that definitely comes across. Oh, yeah. That's definitely the type of person he is.
Like all he has is being the fastest.
And that's it. That's been his motivation the whole way through the season. Yeah. Has been about, I gotta take the V so that I can be the fastest man alive and I can stay on the 7.
Because I'm at this is the Olympics of superheroes.
Yeah, and he's willing to
compromise everything that he is as a person. All
killing
of his integrity,
killing innocent civilians,
killing his girlfriend,
abuse, manipulate, and then kill his girlfriend, all for the sake of his position, basically. Yeah. And we see a little bit of guilt from him in that after he has the beautiful little high noon fight scene with Annie. Yeah, where it is pretty much draw a pilgrim kind of scene.
He walks into the warehouse and he's like, oh shit, you are a traitor and you are fucking this guy because Annie's with them. Yeah. And he's like, everything that we've been saying about you is true.
Yeah. Then he spots Huey as well. And yeah. He's like, oh shit, you're the guy who's responsible for the jailbreak.
But I really like the fact that Huey pushes the rest of them out and shuts the door and stays with her. He doesn't stand a chance again. What's he gonna do? But he still stays with her.
Because he knows he's responsible for that situation. Unlike Butcher, who has put the boys in that situation.
And then just
fucks off on them. He realises that A-Train is here because of his actions and because he's asked Annie to show up. Yeah. So he stays to deal with it and make sure the boys can get away.
When he's having the altercation with Butcher, and Butcher's like, oh, you're a disgrace to Robin's memory. And he stops and he goes, no, I'm doing this for her.
Because he knows it's the right thing to do.
He stays there and all he's good for realistically is target practice.
More importantly, something I've just realised, in the very first conversation that Robin and Huey have is about Huey standing up for himself. Yeah. And that's what he's doing. He's standing up for himself.
Well, the only conversation that they have.
True. Yeah. Apart from...
But yeah, it's something as trivial as asking for a raise, but the point is still there, is that he needs
she's saying you need to stand up for yourself. And this is when we finally see him properly
for things that are important.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's basically target practice. But you've got A-Train's there going, oh shit, they were all right. Nobody's going to believe this. He just thinks all his chickens have come home to roost. If he can drag the pair of them in and be like, I caught them and they've caused this carnage and this is, you know, and get her out as well because he's really, really dislikes her.
Yeah, well, I think even if... Just the fact that she was tied to Huey. Even if she wasn't...
Well, he does, when they have that fight, he's like, you know, you came in and then Translucent disappeared and the Deep got sent off and all of these problems with the Seven, and he perceived everything, she's the catalyst for everything that's gone wrong.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is even if he believed her story that she didn't know any of it and she wasn't tied to it, beyond accidentally... getting involved with
being
Huey.
found in a warehouse, helping them escape, kind of undoes.
Oh, of course, no, but what I'm saying is I don't think he wouldn't have liked her anyway, just because of the fact that she accidentally ended up going out with Huey, given what he holds Huey responsible for.
Yeah.
And just before his heart attack, he does see, it seems like the guilt finally gets the better of him, and he says, you killed my girlfriend. And Huey's like, no, I really didn't. And he's like, well, no, he says, I did, but it was your fault.
Yeah.
And then he has his heart attack.
He does not look well coming into that fight scene.
Oh no,
anyway. He's like all sweaty and
you can hear his heartbeat and
even when he's like running, when they have their little high noon moment and Annie's
the slow-mo scene. Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful.
And you can hear his heartbeat speeding up as well.
And he's barely missing the lasers. Like he's having to, like when he's stopping, he's not stopping in time and having to like duck under her blasts and then turn the other direction.
And he just manages to get like two hands to the chest and hoofs her out of it.
Gets the better of her.
And then confronts Huey over everything. It's just too much because he's taken, God knows how much VE he's had to take.
Yeah.
And Nathan had stated previously, he's like, your heart's enlarged.
Yeah, and he's obviously taken a whole bunch extra to get over the broken leg.
Yeah.
So he's not in good shape. Yeah. And he drops to the ground and has a heart attack, and Huey's like, God damn it, I can't let him die.
Yeah, I still gotta say,
does the right thing. Well,
no, Annie steps up then and is like, you get out of here.
Yeah.
And I'll look after him and, you know, I might be able to spin it.
Yeah, well, I don't think Annie knows how she's going to spin it. She just knows she doesn't want him to get caught.
No.
And if he's, you know, having a heart attack, he's going to be in hospital for a little while. So at least she's probably got a few hours to try and straighten her story out before he wakes up. But I think the only thing we haven't talked about at this point is the bomb that they drop at the very end of the episode.
So you've got Annie staying to hold her cover, and to save A-Train, to stay with A-Train.
We don't know how that's going to work out.
Butcher is presumably in a million little pieces, but then he wakes up on the
we
lawn
see him waking up
in suburbia.
I think it's directly following the explosion. The explosion happens and cuts to black and then fades up with Billy lying on the ground. And
a sprinkler going off in the background.
Going off, and it all seems very idyllic, and Homelander's like, hey, you want to see this, wake your ass up.
Yeah, he basically wakes up in a Norman Rockwell painting.
Yeah. And we see a little child walk outside and look at Homelander, and Homelander's like, hey, do you know who I am? He says, yeah, you're Homelander. And then we see Becca walk out of the house. She sees Homelander and her face drops, and she sees Billy and her face drops even further. And Homelander says that he's the kid's dad.
And the kid's eyes glow, and Butcher just looks horrified, and the pair of them are just staring at each other.
And the episode ends.
Yeah.
And fuck me, like I remember the first time we watched this, it blew my tiny little mind.
Yeah, because obviously in the comic books, the baby never survives.
Yeah, the baby never survives, and Becca never survives.
Becca doesn't survive it either, and that kind of is Butcher's motivation for everything. Is that you took away my wife? Not only did you take away my wife, but you put something in her.
But she's fridged from the beginning.
Yeah.
In the comics, you don't ever get to see Becca except for in a flashback about halfway through when Billy tells Huey about what happened.
Yeah.
And then not until very near the end of the run do we see a flashback about Billy meeting Becca for the first time and their relationship and stuff like that. It's really, really late before we get any sort of characterization for her. And she's his motivation and nothing more in the comics, whereas in the show we had already gotten a bit of characterization for her. We saw who she worked for and the things she liked and stuff like that, but I still wasn't expecting for her to be alive.
Not
at all.
Living out in some suburb somewhere
Yeah.
Presumably hidden away by Vought.
Yeah,
Because
and it seems like it's just a neighborhood.
Because they Vaughn have admitted that she went to them.
Saying I'm pregnant.
Yeah, so
with Homelander's baby.
Whatever happened, presumably, obviously the story is that she did go into labour, she had the child, and they've secreted her away somewhere.
Never told Homelander.
Because Vogelbaum stated that a child should be kept with its mother.
Yeah.
So they've kept both of them.
That's what we are to assume, is that this was a plot by Vought to keep... A, to keep Homelander away, because Homelander's Homelander, and B, to try and...
Homelander 2.0.
Yeah, make Homelander 2.0.
Offspring of Homelander, let's try and make one that's got a bit more empathy.
Yeah, one that's not so crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never would have seen that coming.
No.
And rewatching it, I think it has lost a bit of the impact because we know it's coming.
We know, yeah.
But yeah, that first watch, and we spent hours and days and weeks following watching that episode, talking about, oh man, what could it mean and what's going to happen, and
where are they? Are there other soups with children? Because they mentioned that Translucent has a child, but they never mention anything about whether or not he's got superpowers or anything like that. It's not something that's brought up in the show at all about the fact that they might be able to reproduce, and then Homelander's like, here's my kid, and it's like, oh god, it brings, and
with the little flash in the eyes, it makes us think, okay, well, this kid's got superpowers as well. So
what the fuck does this shit do?
Yeah, but can they all?
Can they all have kids? Yeah, what's the story? What about the ones that are like crazy and can like turn into other shit?
What do you mean?
Like doppelganger?
Oh, like doppelganger. Can he asexually reproduce?
Oh, I'm your mother and your father.
But as far as cliffhangers go as well, it wasn't one of those annoying cliffhangers where it's like, oh, we put all the main cast and crew in obvious, like, extreme peril just seconds before death, and then end the episode. Our main characters are in peril. The boys are still wanted men and female. Annie is in a rather precarious position in terms of A-Train knows the score now.
Yeah.
And Billy is not in any immediate danger because it seems Homelander doesn't want to kill him. He'd rather quite happily hold this over him. Your wife is raising my child.
Yeah.
So he's not dead, but
he's already had a good old dig at him, being like, oh, she came to me and she came 3 times.
Yeah, Homelander makes out like it was very much consensual.
Yeah, like he's holding his sexual prowess over him as well.
Yeah, I somehow doubt that Homelander was able to go for 3 hours, given how long we saw him last with Stillwell.
Yeah, well, then again, that could just be the Stillwell effect.
But yeah, it's a really good cliffhanger, as I say, without being one of those annoying kind of cliched over the top ones.
Given it takes them, it is about 1.5 years between seasons.
Well, that aired it was July 2019 that season 1 came out, and it was dumped all in once, and it wasn't until September 2020 that season 2 started to air, and we only got the first 3 episodes, so it was across 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was 13-14 months between one starting and the other finishing.
You don't want a major like frustratingly annoying cliffhanger.
Plus, when they filmed, they wouldn't have known if they were going to get a season 2 or not.
No.
So if it did end, it wasn't going to be horribly annoying, a la
Constantine.
Yeah, Constantine or Space Above and Beyond was one from my childhood where it was one season and it ended with every last one of the characters being completely fucked in various different ways, and how are they going to get out of this? And
Stargate Universe.
Stargate Universe ended in a similar way.
There was a BBC series years back called Invasion Earth.
Yeah, there's been tons that have ended like that. So I think they didn't want to put themselves in that kind of situation. So it was kind of
because that annoys me as well. Like, I loved Constantine. it was so good. What was Manny doing? That's all I want to know. But because of the way that ends, I wouldn't go back and rewatch it because I just get really frustrated again. Yeah.
If this was all we ever got of the boys,
I would be okay with that. I'm like, okay, there's a kid. So there's a further, they've gotten away. This is your immediate arc. It does wrap it up quite nicely. Yeah.
As I say, if that was all we ever got, I'd be happy with it and I'd rewatch it. Like you said with Constantine, it's hard to rewatch it because it ends on such a cliffhanger with so unresolved. It's just going to be unsatisfying because that's waiting for you with the last episode. Uh-huh. But as it turned out, before season 1 of The Boys even aired, just off the buzz from the promo campaign, Amazon decided to renew a second season.
Yes.
Similarly, then before season 2 aired, they announced that season 3 had been greenlit, and now we are in a situation where there is going to be a spin-off show as well.
Yes.
No real details about when that's coming out or anything,
It's going to
but
be
there is going to
loosely
be
based. I've seen a loose plot synopsis is that it's going to be based around the G-Men, which is their in-universe version of the X-Men, led by an eccentric billionaire.
I think,
and it is going to be more of
it's a VOT school for superheroes.
It's almost like a university, so we're still going to be getting that kind of very frat house energy, blarney cock, yada yada yada.
Yeah, well, we can go into that a little bit later, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for an episode finale, I was really happy with it.
Yes. While there's a lot, it's not overwhelming.
No, there's a lot to digest, and I think they gave us enough that it was going to leave people talking for a while afterwards, and it rightly did, you know?
Yeah.
But as I said, we're going to do a season wrap next week.
Yeah.
Where we'll talk in detail more about what we thought of the season at large and changes they made and various other bits and bobs that we want to rant about.
Yeah.
But anything else you'd like to add for this episode, Kira?
No, I want food.
Kira wants food.
Feed me, Seymour! Which
know.
means you've got about 40 minutes before I
Yeah, I'm in danger here, folks. So, yeah, let's not delay the food any longer. And thanks for joining us, guys. We are Monorants. You can find all our episodes wherever the podcasts live. Let us know what you thought of our coverage of season 1 of The Boys by emailing us at monorantspodcast@gmail.com, or you can find us on Twitter at rantsmono. Thanks for joining us for the season, and we'll be back next week, like I said, with a season 1 wrap. Bye bye.